Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Fabrizio Romano says Christian Pulisic could leave his club this month. Arsenal are said to be interested in him. Arsenal and Chelsea appear to be competing over a number of transfer targets this month. Mikhailo Modric is the main player, while Marcus Thuram has also been linked with both the Gunners and the Blues. However, there is one forward who plies his trade for one of the two clubs and is reportedly wanted by the other. The player in question is Chelsea's Christian Pulisic, who has been linked with Arsenal ahead of the January window. In November, the Daily Mail reported that the Gunners have been eyeing the United States international, as well as Arsenal. The likes of Manchester United and Newcastle United are reportedly in pursuit of Pulisic. Liverpool were also said to be long-term admirers of the American, though they have since signed Cody Gakpo. Although Graham Potter has given Pulisic a run in the team of late, the player hasn't had the desired overall impact at Chelsea since his 2019 move. With that in mind, Fabrizio Romano believes the Blues could potentially part company with the player this month. However, he stresses that they would need to land a replacement first. Romano said the following: "At the moment, there is nothing concrete or advanced, but I am told Christian Pulisic could leave the club in January if Chelsea bring in a new winger. Of course, it depends on club makings offers and many other actors. As of now, it's a scenario and not a negotiation." It has previously been reported that Chelsea are willing to let Pulisic go for £30 to £35 million. If true, that's a reasonable price for a talented player with plenty of Premier League and international experience. Admittedly, Pulisic hasn't had the greatest of times at Chelsea, but sometimes you just need a change of scenery. Something for Arsenal to consider if they fail to land Mikhailo Mudryk or Joao Felix. Hopefully, that's not the case. Arsenal target Milnkovic-Savic increasingly likely to leave. Arsenal and one other Premier League club are in contact with the agent of Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, with Corriere dello Sport reporting that his summer exit from Lazio is now looking increasingly likely. Milinkovic-Savic has been one of the best midfielders in world football recently, particularly this season. He has scored 3 goals and provided 7 assists in 15 games in Serie A. Corriere dello Sport reported last month that Arsenal were in pole position to sign the Serbian. They had spoken with his agent, Matej Kezman. It was noted in the report that the 27-year-old had previously rejected the chance to move to the Emirates, but is now open to the idea. Meanwhile, Kezman believes that he could leave for a fee of around £45 million, but that would surely be a lot less than Lazio would be willing to accept. However, it does seem that an exit is on the cards. According to a report from Corriere dello Sport, Milinkovic-Savic is looking increasingly likely to leave Rome in the summer, and there is attention from a couple of Premier League sides. The report notes that Arsenal wants him. Meanwhile, there is an identified top-flight rival also in the running for his signature. It would be a huge statement if Arsenal could bring Milinkovic-Savic to the Emirates. Of course, the Gunners are flying right now, and they will surely be back in the Champions League next season. Few midfielders are in better form right now, and he should be at the peak of his powers for a couple of years yet. Arsenal absolutely need further depth in the middle of the park, and signing Milinkovic-Savic, who FBref compares to Jude Bellingham and Leon Goretzka, would be an amazing piece of business. Arsenal serious about 26-year-old midfielder Brais Mendez. Arsenal are reportedly interested in signing Brais Mendez from Real Sociedad. According to a report from Vigaches, the Gunners are looking to improve their midfield department, and they are serious about the 26-year-old La Liga midfielder. The central midfielder has been in impressive form for Real Sociedad this season, scoring 10 goals and picking up 7 assists across all competitions. Arsenal could definitely use more depth in the central midfield. and Mendes would be a superb acquisition for them. The 26-year-old is at the peak of his career right now, and he could make an immediate impact in the Premier League. Mikel Arteta has had to rely on Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey as his central midfielders this season, and the arrival of Mendes will add a new dimension to the side. Furthermore, the 26-year-old will allow the Arsenal manager to rotate his squad from time to time. The opportunity to move to the Premier League is likely to be a tempting proposition for Mendes, and Arsenal are one of the biggest clubs in the country. Furthermore, the Gunners are currently fighting for the Premier League title, and a signing like Mendes could transform the side during the second half of the campaign. The player has a contract with the Spanish club until the summer of 2028, and it remains to be seen whether Real Sociedad are prepared to sell him for a reasonable price. Apart from the central midfield, Arsenal should look to bring in a quality attackers as well. Gabriel Jesus is sidelined with an injury, and the Gunners will have to bring in someone who can share the goal-scoring burden and lead the line for the side. Arsenal offered the chance to sell €50 million move for Evan Ndicka. Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur have been offered the chance to sign the Eintracht Frankfurt defender Evan Ndicka. According to Frankfurter Rencho, the 23-year-old defender will be a free agent at the end of the season, and his representatives are currently offering him around Europe on a free transfer. Both Arsenal and their rivals Tottenham could certainly use defensive reinforcement, and the Bundesliga defender would be a quality acquisition for them on a free transfer. However, they will have to shell out a €15 million sign-on fee and €7 million in wages per season for 5 years. It remains to be seen whether the two Premier League clubs are willing to spend €50 million on the player. Ndicka has been an important player for Frankfurt, and the German club will be disappointed to lose him on a free transfer. However, his contract situation means that they are powerless to stop him from leaving. It remains to be seen whether they try and sell the player for a knockdown price this month in order to avoid losing him on a free transfer. The Gunners need to add more depth at the back, and the 23-year-old could prove to be a useful option on a free transfer. He has the technical and physical attributes to thrive in the Premier League, and it remains to be seen where he ends up eventually. Club believe Arsenal will hold fresh talks with Joao Felix agent today. The Mirror report that Atletico Madrid believe Arsenal will hold fresh talks with Joao Felix agent today, but Manchester United have the first option to sign the player. Mikel Arteta looks set to bolster his attacking options this month after suffering a huge setback with Gabriel Jesus during the World Cup. Eden Nketiah has bagged 2 goals in 3 starts since the return of Premier League football, but Arteta is lacking depth in the attacking department. Of course, Arsenal are currently locked in talks with Shakhtar Donetsk over Mikhailo Modric, but they are also targeting a move for once-away star Felix. But it seems that their old rivals United will get the first option to sign the Portuguese forward after making an initial offer on Thursday. The Mirror reports that United have now stepped up their attempts to land Felix, and his agent Jorge Mendes presented their first offer this week. The Red Devils offered a straight loan deal with a £3 million fee, as well as offering to cover the player's wages. Atletico have rejected the terms and are holding out for a £9.5 million loan fee and a clause to buy the player for £70.5 million. The outlet claimed on Saturday that Arsenal remain interested in signing the 23-year-old, and Diego Simeone's men believe Mendes will hold fresh talks with the North Londoners today. But Erik ten Hag's side are thought to have the first option to sign Felix this month and will get 48 hours to match any offer from other clubs. Dean Jones claimed this weekend that Arsenal are willing to overpay to land the Atletico star this month. Both Arsenal and Ten Hag are in need of attacking reinforcement this month, so it's no surprise to see the clubs targeting similar players. Arsenal seem to be prioritizing a move for Modric, but David Ornstein has suggested they could look to land the Ukrainian star as well as Felix. Felix has been described as a special talent, and despite the fact He has struggled to find consistency in Madrid. He would be a brilliant addition to Arteta's squad. The forward would provide a really quality option across the front three while being able to fill in for the injured Jesus. Arsenal still have weeks to sign Mikhailo Modric. They are confident of a deal, says Romano. Arsenal fans have to wait until Monday evening to see their side in FA Cup action. They travel to Oxford United, hoping to not become the latest subject of a famous giant killing. A report from Fabrizio Romano via Count Offside has provided an update on a potential addition to the Arsenal squad. A name that has been linked with a move to the Emirates for a long time is Ukrainian international Mikhailo Modric. Romano believes Arsenal are still confident of signing Modric this month. That is despite recent interest from rivals Chelsea, who appear to be ready to pounce if Arsenal can't agree a deal. Speaking to Count Offside about the young winger, Romano said, "Of course, Arsenal are confident and Arteta too, but reaching an agreement with Shakhtar is crucial. They were so strong in negotiations also in August when they turned it down 30 million euros from Everton when it sounded like a great bid. No deadlines have been mentioned in the negotiations as of now. Talks continue." It's encouraging that Arsenal don't have to deal with any deadlines imposed by Shakhtar Donetsk to complete a move. It shows the Ukrainians believes that the Gunners are taking negotiations seriously and are in the right ballpark. Sporting director Dario Serna has in the past tried to demand 100 million euros for Modric's services. However, the incredible winger is likely to move for less than that. Although Shakhtar are currently sticking as close to that price tag as possible, Arsenal fans will be pleased to hear that Romano suggests the club are still confident of signing Modric. Arteta is likely to want to get a move completed as quickly as possible. However, not being rushed into discussions will certainly help the North London side negotiate the best deal. Paul Merson very concerned about Fabio Viera. Paul Merson says Arsenal ran out of ideas against Newcastle on Tuesday night, as they did not even bring Fabio Viera on. Merson was pounded on the game for Sky Sports and wrote in his Daily Star column that it was a worry that the summer signing did not even get off the bench. That was something that Merson's Sky colleague Gary Neville also brought up after the game, as Mikel Arteta only made one change. The lack of squad depth was in contrast to Manchester City at Chelsea on Thursday, when they brought on Jack Grealish and Riyad Mahrez around the hour mark, and it only took them minutes to combine to win the game. Merson wrote, "I think Arsenal need two signings this January. They have got to go out and buy immediately. I watched them against Newcastle and they ran out of ideas. Don't get me wrong, Newcastle defended really well and it was hard to break down, but you have got to be able to change it up. There were no fresh legs. They paid £34 million for Fabio Vieira, but still didn't put him on. For me, that was the worrying thing. I wouldn't just say they needed fresh legs, I'd say fresh brains as well. There was no guile or differentiation. Even if they just swapped the wingers over for 10 minutes, Mikel Arteta seemed to be so engrossed in the game on the touchline that it quickly passed Arsenal by. Arsenal need to set Shakhtar Donetsk a deadline with Mikhailo Modric. They have offered £62 million and it should now be take it or leave it. Otherwise, the January transfer window will soon be over. Modric and Joao Felix through the door by the end of the transfer window would be an ideal January for Arsenal, but that would be hugely expensive. That is the level of investment Arteta may need to get his side over the line ahead of City, but the example of Vieira is actually a pertinent one. He cost £35 million but was not ready to make an impact on Tuesday after months of adaptation at Arsenal, so there is no guarantee that new signings can be an immediate quick fix. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news show, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.